Today, on Be Something Wonderful, how to deal with contrary 3D conditions, the only video you'll ever need. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, welcome back. This is a big video this morning. This is a client who's also a friend of Be Something Wonderful and is an expert in social media and things like that, and provides guidance and help with the channel from time to time. Well, we talked 2 weeks ago, and she got released or laid off from the company that she was with. This is a kind of a, she said, it's a major company, big company, well-known company that she got laid off from. And of course, she got caught in the conditions, in the changing conditions. And she had plans to go just that next day, I think, to go with her girlfriends on a trip. But she was gonna change all that because she was feeling the lack, she was feeling the conditions and all of that. And we talked about that remember, you're greater than any changing condition. Right? We talked about that idea. She goes, what should I do? And again, you guys know that I don't tell you what to do, but I use that quote from that show, The Chosen. And I said, she goes, well, what should I do? I said, get up, pick up your mat, and walk. She goes, do you mean I should go? I go, I'm not telling you whether you should go or not go. Right? In other words, she didn't want to put herself in debt, and she didn't have much savings anyway, and all of that. And I said, look, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying be the identity, be the version of you that's greater than any changing condition, any thought, any feeling, any condition. This idea that we talked about many times, but we talked about it really in a big way a few weeks ago. Well, she went, and during the trip, she started sending out inquiries, and already had lined up a potential opportunity. Do you see it? Conditions were already changing. That not only was it a great opportunity, it was for more money. It was an area that she really wanted to explore, that she really wanted to work in. It was all unfolding because she saw herself as greater than the conditions. I want to hit this idea today because remember, it's not about dealing with what you judge as negative 3D conditions. It's not about dealing with what you judge as unwanted thoughts. It's not about dealing with what you judge as negative feelings. They're just conditions, they're just thoughts, they're just feelings. Do you see it? They're just changing appearances within that awareness of being, within that overall identity of who you are. So they're changing appearances within the awareness of being that which you really are, I am. So stop trying to deal with them. Stop trying to change them. Stop trying to get rid of them. Stop trying to flip them and be greater than all of them. Because you really are greater than all of them. This is how we started. I want to hit this today because it also applied to another client that I had yesterday in a session. So we don't have to think like that anymore. And this comes from the Solaris movie. I've used this quote many times, but I want to use it again because it really applies to what we're talking about today. This is what the wife of Chris Calvin, she had died by suicide. And then towards the, I don't want to ruin the movie, but towards the end of the movie, she appears and she says this to him. He's wondering now because he's seeing his wife who died by suicide. Am I dead or alive? And what she says is we don't have to think like that anymore. We're together now. Everything we've done is forgiven. Everything. He was feeling to be the blame for her dying by suicide, right? And he appears to her. In other words, though, what's the big message here? And if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to ruin it for you. I want to use this quote, though. This idea that his wife, who apparently died by suicide, They are together now. They're seeing each other. And he's asking, am I dead or alive? She's saying, it's irrelevant. In other words, the conditions, the 3D conditions that we think are such a big deal are irrelevant, right? It's between you and you. That's like your I am awareness saying that to you, the physical 3D you, that you don't have to think like that anymore. We're together now. You're aligned with your higher self. You're integrating with who you really are, that multidimensional you. Everything that you believe that happened in 3D is forgiven, everything. Right? Wow, you're integrating and aligning with your higher self, your inner being, that limitless, infinite, multidimensional you. All those questions of, why am I seeing this? Why is this happening to me? Why am I thinking like this? Why am I feeling like this? All of that becomes irrelevant. Even the question of, am I dead or alive, becomes irrelevant, like in the movie Solaris. Do you see it? All those questions become irrelevant when you know who you really are, when you integrate and when you're greater than all of those conditions. I don't have to think like that anymore. I don't have to feel like that anymore. I don't have to see that like that anymore. In other words, I don't have to see conditions as not working out. I don't have to see things as unwanted or negative. I can just know that they're feelings, they're thoughts, and they're conditions. And I get to decide what meaning they have. I don't have to feel like that anymore. I don't have to think like that anymore. And I don't have to see conditions like that anymore. That's what's powerful about this, right? This movie Solaris. I've talked about it in many different ways, but not in this way. Not in her representing your higher self and saying to the physical you, we don't have to think like that anymore. Everything's forgiven. We get to see through the ideal of who we really are. Wow, that's powerful. So, remember, you are the awareness within which the conditions, the thoughts and feelings appear. You are greater than all of those changing appearances, right? You are that consciousness, that beingness, that one and only reality, that pure knowing. That's why when Jesus said, do not judge according to appearance, but judge with righteous judgment, what is that righteous judgment? It's the knowing that I am source and there is no other. That's the righteous judgment, right? It's the pure knowing that those appearances don't matter. That I don't have to judge them. I don't have to not judge them because they don't matter anyway. They're irrelevant with any judgments that I make. To be still and know that you're greater than any thought, any feeling, or any condition in the world. That's what righteous judgment means. And again, I make that point when Jesus said that he wasn't saying that not to judge conditions, but that you can't judge them. You can't possibly judge them because you don't have the higher perspective. You don't have that greater knowing. But even then, it's not even that you can't judge them. It doesn't even matter whether you judge them because you're greater than all of them. We're going further today with this, right? Knowing that you are the knowing, the 3D focus with you in that 3D physical mind focus, you can't possibly judge anything. But as you align and become one with that greater self, to know that you're one with it, then it doesn't even matter whether you judge them or not. You're greater than all of them. Wow, that's powerful. That means you give them the only meaning that they have. In other words, they have no meaning without you. These conditions, like in the Chosen, in the pool of Bethesda, mean nothing. This pool, it does nothing for you. It means nothing, as Jesus said in the Chosen, right, to the paralyzed man at the pool of Bethesda. It means nothing, so you don't have to judge him anyway. Righteous judgment then means pure knowingness. It means seeing everything from that knowing that you're source and there's no other. Where judging or not judging doesn't even become an issue anymore. It doesn't even become a question. Right? Remember, those questions, we don't have to think like that anymore. We're together now. We're done. You're one with the source. You know who you are. You don't have to think like that, feel like that, or see reality like that anymore. That's powerful. Be still and know that you're greater than all conditions, all feelings, all thoughts. That's what the ancients meant. That's what righteous judgment means. That's what that pure knowing means. That's what it means to be still and know I am God, or be still and know that I am source, or be still and know that I'm greater than any thought, any feeling, or any condition. Wow, And Dr. Joe Dispenza says this: if you insist on thinking and feeling equal to the circumstances of your life, you'll reaffirm that particular reality. What's Joe really saying here? This is powerful. He's saying, in other words, hear this: creation's finished. Neville Goddard. The script is written, A Course in Miracles. You are not really manifesting or creating anything new. Rather, you are either reaffirming what you believe you remember about it, or choosing to see it and perceive it from a different viewpoint, a different perspective, a different vantage point as source, or as the creator, as reality of the self. That's what Joe's saying. You're seeing yourself as equal, a part of those conditions and circumstances, and then you reaffirm them. But in other words, creation's all finished. Those conditions are already there. All conditions are there. All possibilities, all realities, all thoughts, all feelings, all changing conditions. The script's written. So you're not really manifesting or creating anything new. Rather, you're either reaffirming what you believe you remember about it, or you're choosing to see and perceive it from a different viewpoint, a different perspective, a different vantage point as source. You decide to see what's already there from a different viewpoint. Creation's done. It's already there. You get to see it from a different vantage point, or you're reaffirming it from what you've memorized in your body, the feelings that you've memorized in the body, right? You're remembering it, right? Remember from the movie Solaris. And if it doesn't feel good, if it feels like that negative emotion, if it's not what you desire, you're remembering it wrong. If it's not what you want reality to be, you're remembering it wrong. That's powerful right there. Hold this thought, because we're going to unpack this a little bit more. In other words, all thoughts, all feelings, all circumstances, all realities, all identities exist within you as the creator in creation itself. As you as the creator and as creation itself, all potential, all possibilities. It's all source. And you are translating that source energy either as you would like reality to be, or as you would have memorized it to be. Wow! You're either reaffirming it, reaffirming what you've memorized reality to be, what you remember it to be, or you're translating it as you would like it to be, but it's all a translation of creation that's already there. The source energy that you are. This is powerful today. This is why Dr. Joe Dispenza said, you have to think greater than the circumstances of your life, be greater than the feelings that you have memorized in your body, and live in a new line of time, a new script, a new reality, a new film role. You are only ever feeling source energy. And so you're only ever translating that source energy into some feeling that you believe is negative, that you translate as negative or positive. Do you see it? So you're only translating creation that's already finished. You're only remembering creation. All thoughts are just memories. Whoa. Remember, what is thought? It's a mental image. What's a memory? It's a mental image. What's a thought then? It's a memory. It's a memory of creation that's already finished. And so when you're remembering it wrong, when you're remembering it as something that you don't prefer, then you're viewing it or reaffirming a reality that you've memorized even as a feeling in your body, and you keep seeing it the same way. Woo! That's powerful. This is big today, right? So let's go on with this. So if the feeling you have memorized in your body feels negative, that is, in other words, unlike the pure positive love and gratitude of the source that you are, then you remembered creation wrong. Therefore, you are wrong about everything. Like that's the reference to Solaris, right? The movie Solaris with Chris Calvin, right? The memories he had about his dead wife, his wife that died by suicide, right? That he believes he was responsible and all of that. He was remembering creation wrong. He was remembering a wrong. And when you're remembering creation wrong, you're wrong about everything. Right? You have those memories, those memorized thoughts or images. Remember, a thought is simply a mental image, a memory. So all thoughts are memories of creation. Wow. Do you feel the magnitude of what we are unpacking today? I am getting chills as I talk about this, right? They're just memories of all that is. Seen from a different viewpoint, vantage point, or perspective. You're only ever seeing, thinking, feeling creation that's already finished from some vantage point or perspective. And when we memorize it, when we have memories, we're seeing it from some same perspective, either a wanted memory or an unwanted, either a preferred memory or a memory we don't prefer. But remember, whenever you're believing that that's the only memory, that's the only thing, that's the only reality, and it doesn't feel good to you, you're translating it, right, through a thought or image, then you're remembering it wrong. You can remember any part of creation, right? Feelings are just sensations of source energy, put through a filter of thought. In other words, put through a filter of a memory, a mental image, a mental image or a mental act that either reflects or projects the truth of who you are, or does not reflect or project the truth of who you really are. Wow. That's all unwanted conditions are. They're just conditions that you believe through that it's just source energy put through some filter or image or memory that you believe does not represent the truth of who you are. It's not good or bad or right or wrong. It's just not your preferred state anymore. It just doesn't reflect who you're deciding to be now. It no longer represents the identity that you choose now. So you don't need to condemn it or deny it or resist it. When you do that, you're condemning or denying or resisting creation itself. And that can only result in more things that you don't prefer. Instead, just decide that that negative feeling, that negative thought, is just representing something that's not the truth of who you decide to be now. And that's why it feels negative. Whoa. This is powerful. So, to be spiritual then is not about thinking and feeling and seeing and manifesting what you judge as good conditions. Rather, it's about allowing all thoughts, all feelings, all conditions, all circumstances to exist, because they do anyway. Creation's finished. And choose or translate as source, that's what choosing is, what they mean to you. Think, feel, and see everything, and then choose again. Right? Feel it all, think it all, see it all, and then choose again. To be spiritual means to know yourself as spirit, having a physical experience. It's not about feeling good all the time. It's not about thinking the right thoughts all the time, but to know to know that you already are all those things. To remember to know that you're just remembering it wrong when you're feeling or a mental image that you don't prefer. Right? To know that you already do. You already are spirit. Right? Wow. So it's not to feel good all the time. Hear this point again. But to know that you already do feel good all the time. Whoa. Hear this. Not to feel good all the time, but know that you already do. It's your nature. It's your name, I am. But when you don't, when you're having a physical sensation or a thought that doesn't align, then you're just remembering it wrong. Because all thoughts are just memories. They're mental images of a creation that's already finished. And how you're changing states is you're changing perspective of how you're identifying yourself as source and the different viewpoint perspective that you're seeing creation. That's that one moment in time, that now moment. Seeing the now moment from a different viewpoint, a different perspective, through a different mental image that translates to some feeling in your body. That's powerful today. So, you see, denying, resisting, or trying to change or get rid of any condition, inner or outer, right? Inner thoughts and feelings or outer people, events, and circumstances, it makes no sense. Because you are only denying, resisting, trying to change or get rid of yourself as source, as all that is. This is big, right? That's why it feels bad. Stop insisting that you feel good. That can only feel bad when you insist that you feel good, when you're already source that already has that innate feeling of gratitude and love, right? Stop insisting you feel good all the time, or think positive thoughts all the time, or manifest positive conditions all the time, and manifest positive circumstances all the time. Instead, this is what feels good. Be greater than all of it. Be source of all of it, no matter what they appear to be. And that feels good. That's your true nature. That's why that feels good. Because you are source. That's really how to deal with contrary 3D conditions, the only video you'll ever need. I am your host, Tom Kearin, and this is the Be Something Wonderful studio of higher consciousness, where we help you level up and become the best version of yourself. Creators, thank you. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for liking and sharing and commenting on the videos. Thank you for being part of our Facebook group, The Ambassadors, at Be Something Wonderful, at facebook.com/Be Something Wonderful. Facebook.com/groups/Be Something Wonderful. We have an organization page at Be Something Wonderful. We have an Instagram and Twitter at Tom Kearin, TikTok at Be Something Wonderful. You can find us anywhere on social media at either Be Something Wonderful or at Tom Kearin. We're all over. And thank you for being part of the membership channel. We just released powerful video a few days ago on the membership channel. Plus, we have our live stream already scheduled for later this month, the last Sunday of this month at, I think it's the 25th of February, it's a short month this month, at 9 a.m. in the morning Pacific Coast Standard Time. I'm going to be coming to you live from here, the studios in Las Vegas, to answer your questions and address topics that you're sending to us at info@besomethingwonderful.com. So send your suggestions to info@besomethingwonderful.com. Creators, with great love, with great light and infinite gratitude, this is Tom in the studios here of Be Something Wonderful in Las Vegas. Until next time, we'll see you soon.